right, we have a very exciting video today because we're going to talk about ISO-8 and we're going to bring in Arnold T101. I don't know what's happening. Did you just cut out? I have no sound at all coming from your end.
Oh no, I was giving you the air horn.
Everybody loves air horns. All right, so the reason why I wanted to talk about this with Arnold is because you are a Galaxy of Heroes player and
Yes.
So am I. And I want to say that I've been reading a lot of logical, constructive posts from Galaxy of Heroes Place that are absolutely in complete opposition to ISO-8. And I just want to talk about that with you and what we see here. And then maybe give an explanation to people that have never played Galaxy of Heroes and they're like, what are mods? Why are they terrible? There's a lot of confusion over this. And I just want to say, this is nothing like mods. This reminds me more of relics. This actually looks like an extension of Gear 15, like a complicated, tricky way. And most of the fears about ISO-8 is it going to be random? Is it going to be speed-based? Is it going to be expensive? Yes. Is it going to be... Yes.
That's the obvious answer.
Yes. I don't know, but I'm just saying, is it going to be time-consuming? And is it going to be complicated? And I got to say, it looks like it's going to be none of those things except for expensive.
Expensive, yeah.
And
that's the same thing I got too.
And you're delusional if you think that it's not going to be. This is Marvel Strike Force. Let's get used to it. I mean, I don't know.
It's a mobile game at the end of the day. What do you expect?
Hey, I you can see I've got Nobu back here. What, you embraced the Nobu? What? Tell me about.
It's all about Nobu. I've learned from the best. Nobu is king in this game. I got to get this guy to Gear 17, Gear 19, Gear 20. I got to get the new classes upgraded on him. First character for ISO-8 right here. Yeah,
you know he's like the Phasma of Marvel Strike Force because you have to upgrade him, and it's like not good. Yeah, it's like he's like Phasma or Rose
7 it right.
No, actually you cannot. You can. You're like you don't need to do anything on him. Anyways, let's go over the blog post and They talk about the old ISO-8, and I just want to tell you, we saw a version of ISO-8 last fall, and I can tell you, it looks nothing like this at all.
No.
Like, it is not even close to the same, and it looks like everything, we complained about the same things when we were there, because we were there together. It was Casino Valley, and then it was with Cerebro, and then Jason Bender, and he pulled it on his phone. He's like, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
And we were like, dude, it can't be time consuming. It can't have an alpha stat like speed. And if you're going to make it crazy complicated, we better have an API. It looks like they've done none of that at all. Is that what your take is so far on this?
Yeah. Because you and I, when we heard about it, it's like, oh no, don't go down this route because mods and galaxies are not player friendly. Like the super elite advanced players will embrace it, but the casual player, remember when we go to meetups?
Yep.
And there's so many people that show us their accounts, they will not engage with mods because it's too complicated, too time consuming. You got to farm, slice, delete, equip, and then that's so much that goes on. And of course, if you don't find speed, you're wasting your time and resources.
Yes. And it looks like to me, and we're going to go through the post, it looks like to me that there's going to be character classes and then 5 different types of the ISO-8. It looks like you're going to have a choice, basically only one. You're only going to have 5 choices. And my guess is that probably 2 of the choices will be optimal. And then you're just going to have to read a guide or intuitively know which one to upgrade. And then there's still some unanswered questions about how that's going to work. But it does look like it a bit. But I like this comment right here. It says, ISO-8 is a new progression system, somewhat similar to Gear. So I don't think this is like mods at all. This to me more feels like relics. Is that how you see it also?
So yeah, that part makes it very similar to relics, but I think the thing that we keep talking about mods because mods adds the theory crafting element. So it's gearing, but you're adding theory crafting. It's not just straight gear where you're just going through the normal progression. Nothing fundamentally is really changing. You still get theory crafting. I think that's why we call it mods. Maybe we should just stop calling it mods because it's not a good comparison to Galaxy.
It's nothing like mods. So let's just delete that idea altogether. Now they said there's going to be 4 classes, right? And these classes can be equipped to any type of characters. And they talked about Raider, Striker, Skirmisher, Fortifier, Healer. And it looks like on this one right here, they equipped the Fortifier class on Nick Fury. And at level 1, spawn Bury Yourself for 10,000, which is a shield mechanic. 2% of the character's max health. Now, currently characters' max health sometimes are somewhere between 150 and 200,000. So 2% is a significant number.
And that number is going to grow even more if you upgrade
This is level 1, right? So So I guess the point, and I just want to tell you that we've also heard that none of these numbers are fixed in stone. They're working on the individual numbers.
Work in progress.
Yeah, work in progress. So Classes can be upgraded similar to abilities. Classes require all ISO-8 next level in order to unlock the ability, upgrade the class. So we're going to see how that works. And then they specifically, this looks very similar to ability levels, going from the levels up and up and up and up. And it looks like you have to get the pieces, and there's 5 pieces, and you have to get them all to 3 to upgrade the main one to 3. And then when you go up to 3, you could see these generic numbers right here on that particular class, which is the fortifier, and so on. And then what made it most interesting to me is that there's going to be a new mechanic, which is called marked. And this, I read this and I went, cool, I want to play it. But I also said at the same time, rip AI. How is the AI going to know how to do anything? It sounds like you're going to have to know what each character you have, equipped to. And then you're also going to have to maybe you won't be able to just have all the same. You're actually going to have some diversity on which class you pick, right? So what did you think of this new mechanic? I mean, this is entirely different than anything I've seen before, and this is brand new.
Right, so I think there's a couple ways to look at this. For people who play Galaxy Heroes, the first thing I thought was like, oh, it's kind of like Target Lock. And Target Lock and Galaxy Heroes, it interacts differently with each type of character. But the good thing is it's mostly passive, so you don't have to worry about ripping AI, because it's all passive interaction, really. But for this, for defense, it's probably going to be pretty rough. But the healer interaction with Mark seems to be pretty easy, because it's all passive, it sounds like. Because the healer passively, I believe, will cleanse Mark from someone. So that's fine. That's AI friendly right there. But some of the other ones where you get bonus attacks or something like that, that's going to be pretty rough. Like, would you rather double hit Luke Cage or go after someone else? So that's the problem that I think we're going to run into. Yeah. And maybe that's what's going to come down to when you're picking the best classes. You're going to be like, all right, are you going to put this on defense, or is this going to be an offensive team? If it's for offense, you probably aren't going to care too much about Mark. But if it's going to be for defense, you're going to have to think twice on how that new Mark mechanic interacts with that new character class.
So the way that when I read this, it was basically for each character, let's say Nick Fury, there's going to be basically a total of 5 choices between these different classes to put on him. Now, what was unclear to me is, and they did say that you could switch between classes, but what does that have to do with the upgrading cost? Do you have to restart? Or can you work on 2 at once? Or is it just not efficient to work on 2 at once? Is there a way of toggling between the 2? And I'm sure there's going to be you and I are going to get together, or any of us get together and say, oh, Nick Fury definitely needs to be a skirmisher or whatever. Or is it going to be the other thing? It seems like the mechanic needs to be varied on each team composition. Maybe you're going to need several of each class. You're not going to want to have a team of all strikers, let's say. You're going to need to have multiple different ways of doing it. I'm actually pretty excited about this, because it sounds like it's going to be easy to set up. And once it's set up, you're not going to have to play with it. I don't think it's going to be time. They even said that in the Q&A. It's like, hey, this is not going to be time consuming once it's set up. I'm pretty excited to play this. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think the main concern is, when we first get a new feature like this, and you're not quite sure what's the optimum setup. Let's say you go for Fortify, but you realize, oh man, I should have went for Healer. You have to start from scratch, get the ISO-8 crystal again, because remember, there's this slicing functionality where if you want to get a higher ISO-8 crystal, you got to fuse some together. So do you have to refuse, or do you just simply switch class and just re-upgrade the abilities? I think that's kind of that's the main concern I have, is how difficult it is to get the ISO-8 crystals. Once you put them in, can you still switch classes and not start over again? It's really just the cost of just experimenting with it the first time, because is there going to be regret? Oh man, I did a bad class, so I have to start all over again. That's my biggest problem with this, and maybe they'll give us more light, or hopefully we get insight if we get inside this beta.
And I want to go over the Q&A, because this answers the core questions. Will stat bonuses be randomly generated? No. Cool. All right. Will there be bonus speed stats? Currently no plans, and a lot of people. No plans. Okay, so there was a lot of people that read into this they might change their minds. Well, they might.
They left wiggle room there if they want to change it.
I think what this means to me is this year, for at least a year, they don't want to do it. But maybe a year from now they might. I think they want to leave it open so that they can't 2 years from now, when they're redoing ISO-8 and coming out with ISO-8 2.0, they still have some flexibility. They didn't lock themselves out of saying no speed forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're gonna do it, you just got to do it now. Because imagine they add that a year from now or two, that's gonna probably change the meta a lot. And you have like, did all the effort you put into this whole
Right.
ISO-8 just get thrown out the window? That's gonna be controversial when it happens. I know people are a big fan of changing speed. I'm not, but if they make it maybe no RNG, maybe it'll be accepted more. I don't know. It's hard to imagine.
I personally didn't have a problem with speed in mods. My problem was that more than 50% of your character's speed was determined by the mod sets themselves. I mean, when you have a 300 speed character and 150 of it's coming from speed, what is that about? You know what I mean? It's just like, why even have a character if it's all going to be determined?
The problem is that, let's say, you can have the two identical characters, but if their character's one speed faster because they just had better luck finding that speed, your character loses at least 20-30% viability because you can't go first. I think that's the problem that Galaxy of Heroes faces.
Okay, so this is what I did not understand. We talked about it. Can they change classes? So there's 5 classes. Is yes, you can change classes, but upgrading them will cost resources. I wonder if you upgrade one of the classes on Nick Fury, like he had the Fortifier class, right? Is that permanent, or does it is it like you just focus on these 2 for him and you toggle, or is it easy to toggle, or is it a hassle to toggle? We're gonna find out. That's my memory, because they also mentioned a test server, and I believe both of us have been invited to that, and we'll let you know. I kind of wanted to make this video before we got involved with that, because then we're probably not going to talk about it until they say we can. So I'm just letting you know right now, I have no extra information on this other than what's in this blog post right now. And then it says, can ISO-8 pieces be moved around? No! That's amazing right there, because that means it's not going to be a hassle to move them around and spend 10 hours. That was the problem with Galaxy of Heroes. It was
it still is a problem. It's such a problem. I mean, I think the best way to explain this is, can you move gear around on characters? No. Once you put the gear on, it just sits there. Doesn't make sense.
Will this system add significant time to daily play? And the way that I read this is like, initially, this will be a little bit time consuming because it's going to be a new system, and we're going to have, we got to learn how it works. We're going to have to go
campaign.
And it looks like we're going to have to put this on almost every character, which means I'm not going to want to do that on anything other than meta characters, my arena team, my U7 team, so on, or, important war teams, whatever, right? But it sounds like I'm going to be focused on that at first, but then it sounds like once it's done, it's done. And I like this. It's intended to complement your extensive experience with game, not overshadow other components. And then they said, was this the reason why health bars are updated? Did you notice that at all?
It seemed very minor at best. I don't know. I didn't really see much of a difference, but maybe because in the future, they're going to start getting more of the little lines in between because of these new classes. So maybe if they didn't change it, it's just gonna be so tiny you're not gonna notice anything. So maybe they just kind of gave them more wiggle room to prepare for these ISO-8 upgrades.
Right, and it looks like they're not going to retroactively modify any of the PvE content, but they might for future content, which is logical. I could see them, the alphabet raids, the alpha, beta, gamma raids. They might. They seem to update those over time to time. Maybe in the next variation of that, it'll be changed. It looks like they've already tuned like U7 to be crazy difficult as you progress, and so that was already kind of built. And to me, that was the reason why they did the raid difficulty adjustment. It's also the reason why I think they flattened the curve, if that's the right word, on red stars. They did balance out red stars a little bit. So here's the thing: nobody has enough information to like or dislike this, in my opinion. However, the major points that I had for this system have been squashed. And it looks like to be more of a gear relic system than a mod system. And I want to see it. And I do want to say that I do expect it to be expensive, unfortunately. That's just my feeling with Marvel Strike Force in general.
5 crystals each character, then you got to get them up to 5, and then you got to upgrade the ability. Hope you got the right one. So definitely it's going to be consuming, and hopefully we're going to be able to have a good idea of how good these classes are, because you want to kind of make sure you pick the right class, and hopefully you don't have to switch again.
Yeah, because probably if you dump a lot of resources into Nick Fury Fortifier and you're thinking, well, I want to change classes, then you're like, wow, I could have used that Fortifier on someone else, and it's like, wow, and then I overcommitted on this one, and it's like, could have put that on somebody else. We will see. I'm excited, but guess what time it is?
Time for the giveaway.
Yes, everybody loves the giveaway. It's not a scam. I really hope you like this video today. I haven't done this in a while, man. I forget. I gotta do this more. I love the not a scam. I really hope you like this video today, because if you did, you are in luck. For every single person that likes this video, you will be getting for free in your account an 8-star Nick Fury. This is not a scam. This is not a scam. Oh, whoa. Yeah, that's a good one right there. Do you know Nick Fury was in like every movie ever from like 1990 to like 2005, it seems like, right? Wasn't he everywhere?
He was in The Incredibles. He's in Star Wars. He's in Marvel. It's like, dude, he's been everywhere. He's been in Django.
He was in Goodfellas. I watched Goodfellas the other day, and he was in Goodfellas. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, man, this guy's in like, he was in Jurassic Park. You know, he was like in every movie.
Oh my gosh, yes, I forgot about that. My goodness.
Yeah, he was
everywhere.
Yeah, he's everywhere. So I love Samuel Jackson. Anyway, all right, head over to Arnold's channel. We're going to do a different video over there. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep on going. Bye.